Is it true that only criminals bring immigration lawyers with them to their interview? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our office here in St. Louis, Missouri. Had a very strange consult last week, an interesting consult. It was with a nice immigrant lady who had gone to her green card interview with her husband. Now, this husband was an immigrant himself. He had naturalized long ago. And it's fair to say, I think, that he's sort of a cheap fellow because he used a notario, which is a fake lawyer, a non-lawyer, someone who fills out forms, probably does taxes too, to prepare all of his wife's paperwork. Now, this is its own bad idea, but he was saving money and she was from his same ethnic community, so he thought it would be a good idea. Now, they had problems all along the way. They had to refile twice and they got requests for evidence, so you'd think he'd learn his lesson about the value of working with an attorney. But when the time came for him to have the interview for his wife to see whether or not she got her green card, she really wanted to hire an attorney. And he objected to that. And he said, only criminals bring immigration lawyers to their immigration interview. And we hear this from time to time. We don't hear it as much now as we used to because things have gotten so much more complicated. But there is still this mindset that only the people who have fake marriage cases, fake immigration cases, are the ones who need an attorney. And he also said, famously, that they will look at you more suspiciously if you bring a lawyer with you to your interview. In my mind, these are all just justifications for someone who doesn't want to spend the money on a lawyer, who's trying to give his wife a bunch of BS reasons as to why they shouldn't bring an attorney, because the case was a bit complicated and they could have used the advice of a competent immigration lawyer. And most importantly, that immigration lawyer would have gotten them ready, would have prepared them for the interview, because they weren't, and the interview went very poorly. And one of the reasons it went poorly is because there wasn't an attorney there writing down everything that was happening and being an eye for the client and making sure that the law is followed. But the bigger reason why it made sense to use a lawyer and why they were dumb not to use a lawyer is because they weren't prepared for the interview. The officer was asking straight questions that they always ask, that if I had prepared them or if someone from my office had prepared them, they would have been ready for them, and they weren't ready for them. So when you get to the questions like, have you ever been a prostitute, or have you ever smuggled someone into the United States or smuggled drugs, they weren't ready for them because they hadn't read over their I-45 and they hadn't been prepared by an attorney. You've got to be ready when you go to your interview, and there's as much value in the lawyer preparing you for the interview as attending the interview itself. So I fundamentally disagree with the idea that only criminals or only fake scammers bring immigration lawyers to their interview. I also disagree with the notion that the only people that when you bring your immigration lawyer, that you're going to be viewed suspiciously. Immigration officers are big boys and big girls. They're used to dealing with lawyers all the time. I don't think that they give any more weight or less weight to the fact that there's an attorney there. They certainly don't view it suspiciously. So let's put these myths to bed right away. Let's stop spreading this misinformation. And it's ridiculous when you really think about it, because it's, at the end of the day, I think it's someone just trying to save money, trying to be cheap with their resources, and perhaps they can't afford it, but at the same time, it's obviously a very important thing as to whether or not this man's wife gets her green card, and now everything's up in the air. So if someone's telling you that only criminals bring their lawyers to their immigration interviews, tell them they're full of crap. And if they tell you that immigration views people suspiciously because they bring an attorney, that's also a bunch of BS. So we hope that we've put these rumors to rest. We hope that you now have the knowledge and information that you can challenge people who say these things. Immigration does not view people who bring lawyers as criminals or as someone who is trying to get away with something, but rather someone who's smart enough to know that immigration law is extremely complicated and that they could use the benefit of having a lawyer there. So we hope this helps. If you like this video, please be sure to share it out on social, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get updated whenever we do videos just like this one. Make sure to join us in our Facebook group, which is called Immigrant Home. And then make sure that you, if you have any questions, to give us a call at 314-961-8200, or you can always email us at info@hackinglawpractice.com. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.